Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of how to use ChatGPT to improve your GCSE English language scores. So let's get started. Today I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to help plan and produce a piece of transactional or persuasive writing, which is worth up to 40 marks pretty much in every single awarding body's version of the GCSE English language exam. It's also useful for those that are studying history, geography, and looking to put together essays that really hit those top bands in terms of communication skills. So the first thing we're going to do, as per usual, is we're going to open up ChatGPT and we're going to upload the mark schemes. Now, if you don't have these, make sure you ask your tutor or teacher, and don't forget you can also Google these as well. But your teacher should be happy to give you them, and they probably have at some point as well. So we're just going to upload these now, and it takes a little while, but it gets there in the end. So the first thing we're going to do before we even prompt it is we're just going to make sure that it understands what you've given it. So I'm just going to ask a very simple question. I'm going to say I've uploaded the mark schemes, Edexcel's GCSE English Language Paper 2 question, transactional writing. Do you understand or have any questions about these mark schemes before I ask you to perform a task? Again, you would replace this with whatever question or paper you're doing or whatever exam board it is there. So let's see what it says. Lovely. Worth noting, these are simply just screen grabs, JPEGs of the awarding body's mark scheme. This new ChatGPT can read pictures like their text, so it's no bother what format you upload it in at all. So now we're going to do the proper thing. So I'm going to start by giving it the question, which is pretty much the same style of question you're going to have seen in your papers. And the question I'm using is, I've been asked to write a letter to my head teacher on who the college should invite to speak as an inspirational figure. My letter should include views on inspirational public figure, person I've chosen, what they do, and inspirational qualities. It's pretty much bog standard what you'll find. Usually it's a letter or an article, but in reality, like all the skills you learn here will apply to everything. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to label that question so it knows what section it is. And just to remind you, if you want to paragraph down in ChatGPT's window, you're going to hold the Shift key, either on your mobile phone keyboard or your regular keyboard, and press Enter, and it will do that. If you just press Enter regularly, it will send the message, and you'll have to try again. So now I'm going to insert my prompt. So I've written a response to the preceding question posted above that has been graded 22 out of 40. You should read the question and my work and compare my response to the mark scheme in order to assist me boosting my score to 30 or 40 or higher. Do include, now this is important, this is kind of an expansive piece, I've said, do include advice on how to access each top band in the mark schemes provided. I'm giving it direct instruction there to look at those mark schemes I've given it, especially around the use of consistent tone. Now that's a really, really important grade 4 piece, and that applies to pretty much every essay you're going to write in GCSE. Consistent tone. The only time that a question is going to want you to shift tone is your creative writing, so bear that in mind. So you need to be critical, but give fair evaluation of my work. You want it to be a bit mean to you, a little bit critical, because otherwise it's just going to praise everything you've done and not give you good advice. You want clear examples of change, and what I've said here is use bold and italics to indicate any changes you make. It needs that instruction, else it'll just make those changes. You may not remember what you wrote and what it's written. And lastly, I've said must be a helpful, kind but critical voice, reflecting on the feedback that you're giving to me, engineering it to get the best grade I can, because you want it to second guess itself in order to give you the very best feedback possible. In terms of my do not include, I want it in British English, obviously. I don't want it to go and search the web for facts about whatever I've written about. I want it to be as easy as I can, and I've reminded it that it's an exam question, not a real world piece. So it's there to maximise marks, but not be accurate. In your exam, you're more than capable of making up facts and figures that sound true. You want it to recognise that. And I've given it context. I'm a student looking to get a higher grade. So now we're going to give the answer, and I've borrowed this from one of my students. Names changed to protect the innocent, of course. Again, holding shift and pressing enter twice, control V, there we are. So, I've given it a nice letter here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's about Dolly Parton and why they deserve to be that inspirational figure. So now we're going to press enter and see what happens. And as you can see, it's telling you exactly what you need to do, but telling you how to improve each section here, which is quite good. And we can get it to expand on this as we go. And it's rewriting pieces for you, but those italics, of course, are showing you that those are things you could add in to improve. And as you can see, it's also broken it down between AO5, which is content, and the structure, technical accuracy as well. And it's telling you those mark boundaries too. And it's telling you how to improve. And it's telling you how it's also offering to rewrite you paragraphs as well to show you what to do to improve. So that's pretty good. We like that. So next, now it's kind of giving you some advice on how to make some changes in there. What you can do is you can go ahead and you can ask it a follow-up question. Now this question is if you're looking just to give a try again at another answer. So what I'm going to say is it's excellent, thank you very much. I want to write an entirely new piece for this question because you should be practicing different ways, and I've asked it to basically help me plan that out. I've invented a figure, an inspirational figure called Reginald Jones, because you don't get penalties for lying in this. They're not going to hire a detective to go and find out who this real person. And I've given a reason that why is inspirational, and I've said, help me write a grand 5 piece for this. So I'll press enter again, and let's see what happens. There we go, and it's giving you it's breaking it down into sections, which is fantastic. Transactional writing should be minimum 5 paragraphs. I think 7 to 8 is a really, really good target to aim for if you're looking for the higher grades. But in reality, it's not the amount you write beyond a certain point; it's the quality. I've never read anything beyond 4 pages that hasn't just droned on and on. I think the sweet spot is 2.5 pages for a good piece of transactional writing. So again, look, it's showing you how to do it. It's giving you examples, telling you to rewrite things, what to do, and then giving you a series of goals to tick. And these are great here, as you can see. It's telling you exactly the features you should be using, and you can do this in any single question you like, and you'll get those points as well. So, fantastic work. So, hopefully now you know how to turn a piece of existing transactional writing that you've made into something that's going to get you that grade 9, and also how to start practicing, planning and preparing to write a new one either for mocks or your main exam. I've been Josh, and remember, learn to use AI or AI will learn to use you.